Hello everybody, my name is Michael, you know me as Coding Jungle, and today I'm going over Formularize's settings, and I'm going to explain what they do and why they're important or why they exist. Okay, first thing you want to do is go to your ACP after installing Formularize, and go to the community, stupid dark bar. You want to go to the community tab or menu, which is the double chat icon thing here. And you want to go to Find Formularize and go to Settings. Now here you'll see three tabs. I'm going to go over each one. The general settings is Show Author, and what that does, it will if you don't have it enabled, it won't show the author to a submission. I'm sorry, not a submission, but an author to the form itself. It won't say Michael created this form on such and such date. It will just say this form was created at 11:42 on November 3rd or something like that. That's in case you don't want people like, I run into this where people will, on certain sites will, like gauge a, quiz or something based on the person who created it or something. If you don't want that, you can turn it off. Show last poster, basically on the folder view, it won't show who the last person to take the quiz or the form to be. It won't be like, it won't show Michael took, form blah blah blah, at this time. It won't even show that data. And then if they go into the folder and they see a list of the forms themselves that are available, it won't have that information either. Enable privacy notification. What this does, this allows you to write out a generalized privacy info basically before anybody takes the quiz. So when you enable it and you type out, like your privacy, like this data won't be sold. All the information is kept private. Only members of the admin can see the data, that kind of stuff. So whatever you decide your privacy policy is on the data collection itself is what you should put here, and it will notify everybody who takes a form or a quiz beforehand what your policy is. All right, so that's that. Okay, on the advanced one, now some of these might not make a whole lot of sense to some people, but they were requests or things that I felt that needed to be in there. Now, instantly delete forms and submission. What this does, it will bypass the IPS's deletion log. Like if you delete something. Now, the reason this is in here is because you can import and export forms on in Formularize. So if you say you got a dev site and you created a form over there and you wanted to bring it over or whatever, you can update a form, which is fine, but let's say you want to delete the existing form for a new updated version. So deleting that form will delete all of its submissions, all of its collected data, everything that's associated with it. Well, the way IPS works with it, if you delete that, it will, if the settings is not enabled, it will put in a deletion log. Well, the importer will still see the all that data and all that form, all that stuff related to the form, and go, oh, this is an update, or an upgrade, not a fresh install. So if you want to avoid that, you can enable that here and bypass that. But if you do that, then your data that's associated with the form is lost. So just keep that in mind. All right, so forms and submissions and profile. Now, again, this was an option that was requested by one of the beta testers. Basically, what this does is it allows, if you have it enabled, it will show the forms and the submissions in the profile. So if somebody goes to somebody's profile, and they have created a form, it will show them in the folder section of the Formularize tab, and if they've taken submissions, if they've taken a form, a quiz, or whatever, it will show you which one they've taken. That's if they have permission to see it in that folder, basically. So it does have permissions. It's just you know, some sites, it might not be imperative to show that data. So that's why it's there, and that's why it's disabled by default. All right, submission flood timer. What this does, it allows you to set in seconds how long in between submissions on a form. So if you have multiple on the forms themselves, you have the multiple options selected that are allowed to submit multiple forms. What this flood timer does is to allow you to control how fast they can submit those forms. So if you have you know, like I said, if you have multiple enabled and you want to control that, so somebody's not sitting there with a bot, like a bot can't go in there and manipulate the data, you know, like by taking the form multiple times, what it will do is it will slow that process down. All right, map API key. Now, on the data charts, what this does, if you have the Google Maps or the map box enabled in site enhancements, Formularize will use those basically to generate a map of the users who have taken the submission. It will plot out their locations on the map, but it won't tell you who it is. It won't give out IPs. It won't tell you who it is. It will just show you a generalized area of where they're from. You know, so that's what that does. Well, the map API key is I have another app called Net Toolkit Geo, I think. And Net Toolkit's is an alternative to Google Maps and Mapbox. So if you want to use that independently of your Google or your Mapbox, what you would do is you would go sign up for a Net Toolkit API key, and you put it in here, and Formularize will use that instead of the Google Maps and Mapbox, basically. All right, so let's move on to the final one, fields. Now, in Stratagem, I've introduced the idea of sensitive data fields. It's not a required field. It's not a hidden field. It's just the data that's contained in that field is considered to be sensitive. And what that will do, there's a group permission that will allow you to control who can see sensitive data, including the author of the form itself. So if you, you know, so let's say you open up the, you know, form creation to a certain group, and you're going to have devious people out there regardless of how you cut things. And, you know, they might use it as some kind of, you know, way to, you know, harvest email addresses or addresses themselves, or a number of things. So what this does is it allows you to control if that information is shown and who's it's shown to. So if you got it set in their group settings that they can't see that data, regardless if they're the form creator or not, and like say you only have your admin group that has that setting, what this does is allows you to come in here and mark fields that you would consider to be sensitive data, and when they use those fields and the people and the users submit the field or the forms with those fields on it, to everybody who doesn't have the permission, it will say no data collected or something. It will say no data available. Basically, it won't allow them to see the collected data, and it works similar to in the data charts too. So if they don't have the permission to see that field, they won't see the data chart either for it. And what this does, it allows you to automatically set these fields automatically. So once these are set and they don't have the permission to override it, when they create a form with these fields, it's automatically set. It will always be like that for them. So just keep that in mind. That's what the auto sensitive is. So once you got them all saved and got it set up how you want, just hit save and then go about your business. All right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, found it informative, and let me know if you have any questions or comments down below. in the comment section, and I will try to answer them in a timely manner. Have a good night or good day. I'll talk to you guys later.